get rid of that warning
Is to take
is to take your eyes off the road and hit the dismiss button.
Absolutely. Oh, I just barely went live on Facebook. Oops.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, now some
Oh,
of the technology though can be better. There are, obviously analog brakes are, I think, a big step up from what we have in the older days. They've been around for quite a while.
I don't know. I saw a box truck, and I'm not going to name the company because then I would just be, getting myself in trouble. He was fishtailing all over the road, and he couldn't get up the slight incline that we had. He backed up Main Street traffic almost past Lynn's.
That's because a box truck is one of the worst things to be driving around in the snow.
Oh my gosh. And you could tell he was from Vegas because he would just gun it around every corner, and then I followed him coming down 200.
Yeah.
He was sliding all over the place last night.
Yeah.
Do you get ahead or behind those types of vehicles?
As fast as I can get ahead of them.
Get ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But what if they speed up and catch you?
Then I'll find it. To be honest with you, the same thing coming to work this morning, going home, I stayed off Main Street as much as I possibly could.
Avoid people.
Yes.
People avoider. No, I completely agree. You often have better traction on I'm not saying this is the normal thing, okay? Like, I love plowed roads. But sometimes you can find better traction on fresh snow rather than you can on a plowed road.
Some of the snow drivers, or snowplow drivers Craig was talking to, they're playing it down to ice. And ice for any vehicle is not good. I don't care what kind of car you have.
Agreed.
Or whatever.
So distractions in the dashboard.
Mm-hmm. Not a plus.
Not a
in
plus.
In fact, there was a time when I was a younger driver, if the weather conditions were bad, we had a lot of fog where I grew up or other things, I'd turn the radio off even. So that there was nothing distracting me from what was it.
And you can pay attention and you can hear.
Yes.
I learned my dad.
That reminds me. We need Darren Adams here immediately.
Oh, why? Oh, my.
I see so many people, horrible distraction, driving down the road with their stupid earbuds in, and worse, headphones like we have here at the radio station that cover their ears and block the outside noise, and they go, that can't be legal.
One would hope it's not. But I don't know. Yeah. There's many legal things that I'm astonished at. So.
Well, that's true, but I'm sitting there. I mean, I think the earbuds are bad enough, but when you have headphones on your ears that actually cancel out the outside noise, that can't be legal. And I see that almost every day here in Sioux City.
I completely agree. So with all of the snow and the different things that I know to do, to my own vehicle, like if you're parked in a parking lot and it snowed a couple of inches, you need to wipe down your entire vehicle, including the headlights and the taillights, so people can see you. They can see where you're going. That includes signal lights,
yep.
Right? You also need to be able to see out of your vehicle, so you have to do every single window. And I know we're in a rush, and I know we're late to class, and I know we're doing all of these things, but if you can't see them, they can't see you, right? And a diligent client of mine and very good friend also reminded me that if snow falls off of your vehicle, like you're going fast and it comes off the top of your vehicle and hits another vehicle and causes that accident, causes the other driver to become so distracted that they themselves have an accident or cause multiple car accident, you are responsible for that because you did not take the time to clear off your vehicle.
So tell me then what recourse we have against the semi-truck drivers.
They're big and loud.
I mean,
you just have to be big and loud
inevitably, if you're behind one of them or trying to pass, they'll fling snow right up at you all the time.
I think it's that safety distance. Same thing with gravel trucks or asphalt trucks, right?
I understand that.
They're doing as professional drivers, a CDL is a professional driver. They are responsible for making sure their vehicle is in adequate condition for traveling on the road as a professional driver. I believe for the 90% of drivers out there, they do their due diligence. Now, is there the 10% or the 5% of every population out there? Absolutely. Do we want to call them the majority? All the time. Do they represent the majority? No.
I still have an issue with the one that threw a rock in my windshield that makes me have to go get a new windshield now.
Well, luckily windshields have come down in price. They're not like thousands of dollars unless you have very, very high technology.
I know a guy.
I know, right?
I have to go up to Spanish Fork to get it, but he's put it in for like $200.
Right. You know, glass is one of the least worries, you know, of today's modern, you know, technology things. But with the different things, you know, let's talk about emergency road care. You know, if I did get stuck in a winter snowstorm, right? We got the winter storm warning on Sunday afternoon. We knew something was coming.
We actually never got.
Oh, my phone rang
You
through.
got a winter storm watch. And
Oh.
then you got a winter weather advisory.
Oh.
Not once did the weather service. Chris knows I'm all lit up about this like a chief.
Oh no.
We never once got a winter storm warning. In fact, I think the weather service really did, in this case, a real poor job of prepping us for what was coming.
Well, and then you got to give people grace where it's due, and sometimes people just mess up, and we have to live
But it's
through
the
that.
science.
Theoretically, in southern Utah, science is very,
This is
especially
why-
with weather conditions,
And
it's
you know-
very fluid.
And you know me, I'm Mr. Less government is better, but I do have a big curiosity why Utah, as far as I can tell, maybe Rhode Island, is the only state that only has one weather forecast office in the state. And I
Oh,
can
interesting.
easily make the case that we could use one down in southern Utah.
We're a very different climate. We don't have the lake effect, and we have a very different mountainous range. Yes.
Wyoming has 3. Wyoming has
And don't
3.
they have like half the population?
They have like a tenth of the
Or am I thinking
population.
cows? No, they'd have more cows than sheep.
Yeah.
I'm teasing. So, but with winter storm warnings
Because
and all
at
of the
least if
weather
we had a
information,
weather service here in town, they could look out the window and go, well, we got that one wrong. We better change it.
well, theoretically, right? But with all of the different things, what do you guys pack in your cars? What do you have in your car in an emergency situation? Do you keep bottled water? Do you keep blankets? Do you keep...
I have some water and I have a blanket.
I have one of those emergency blankets.
Okay.
Keep some water. Keep a couple of energy bars, high protein bars.
Okay.
Usually have my amateur radio with me, which can be,
Yeah, I have a radio in my car. Just a conventional radio, not an amateur.
yeah, I have that because that can communicate sometimes better than the cell phone can.
Mm-hmm. Depending on the service, depending on the roads.
Flashlight, jumper cables.
Okay.
Should probably have a shovel with me. I haven't got one of those yet.
A little hand shovel, like a little
That's a good idea.
camping shovel, right?
Mhm.
The other things that you
put
consider...
up a whole gallery of things you should put up on our webpage a couple weeks back.
Well, that's good. And I mean, go to the website, and look it up. I just got thinking as, my guest host couldn't make it. I was like, we should really talk about this today, especially because people are looking out their windows like, I don't want to drive in this. What do I need to be better prepared to drive in this if I absolutely had to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Had we gotten the official warnings or the different things, maybe we would have stocked up on groceries on Sunday rather than try to get to the grocery store today. If you don't have to drive in this, don't. Right?
Well, that's the best advice.
Yeah.
If you don't, but then you go into having a little bit of food storage on hand makes it nice, right? Not having to go to the store, not having to do this, not having to do that, especially on the roadways, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you think of little kids. How many mamas are traveling with babies? How many daddas are traveling with babies, right? What do you need to keep differently in the car for them specifically versus yourself, right? You probably need an extra change of clothes for them. Just because clothes, not that blankets don't do their job for babies, but blankets go so far, and then you might have to bundle them up in an extra layer of clothing, right? If you're trapped in your vehicle, what do you do? The different things.
Keep
Do you
the
have...
exhaust clear.
Right, keep the exhaust clear. Maybe you have a couple of games or cards,
Most people that have a phone would have that taken care of. Oh, that'd be another thing, a car charger for your device.
Right, like an individual always charged battery, to charge your phone because it has a GPS signal on it, right? Theoretically. And you go through these
Unless
different
you're
scenarios.
conspiracy, like some people I know that keep their location services turned off.
Yeah,
I wouldn't name names here, but
I keep mine on all the time. It's one of my bad habits, but it allows people to know where I'm at, right? You also go through the different things that, to keep you mentally sane, right? If you're trapped in your vehicle, it's a small confined space. For more than an hour, I would say there's different practices that you should start implementing, like breathing techniques or different things to keep yourself calm, because panicking in a confined space is the worst possible outcome, right? You go through all of these different levels of what you should be prepared for, and I encourage you to Google it or research it or become more educated, right? I'm throwing out this idea that you should become more educated on what you're going through or different things specifically to winter storms, because in southern Utah they hit just like this.
And I would recommend that if you've got a mobile device, here in our area, I'd have the UDOT app
Okay.
available all the time. So not while you're driving, obviously you don't do that, but as you're making plans for your trip, hit the UDOT app, check the weather cams along the way. Now the problem is sometimes in the storm, some of them are solar powered and you can't. They're not useful, but there are some that are pretty that are online almost all the time that I've checked out. But look at the area and I'm looking right now at milepost 44, and there's some traffic pulled off to the side there. It looks like it's not causing any problems on the highway, but there.
On Highway 56?
On Highway 15, I-15.
I-15,
Yeah.
K46,
But you can.
Canaryville.
Yeah, but you can look. In fact, up by Iron Mountain, they've got a camera out there, which is offline because of the sun. But you can there. But I would have that. Plus, it'll send out alerts to your phone.
As you're traveling.
And
what to expect. The other really great tool, is being able to, like on Google, it'll show you delays. Like if you directional map on Google Maps, it'll say like either traffic delays or winter storm warning delays or traffic accident delays.
Right.
Those different measures. The other thing that we need to consider is all of the uncontrollables out there, right? We can't control other people. So avoid, right? We want to avoid other people, other people's vehicles to the best extent possible. So if there's an aggressive driver more than, an offensive driver, there's a defensive driver.
Yeah, and this is not even on a bad day like today. I'm really concerned with all the wrong way drivers that seem to be popping up all over the state these days.
Well, there's that. And then think about all the animals.
Just this last weekend on I-15, wrong way driver.
Right.
Plus the animals, they're all down
Right.
because they can't get any food up in the hills now.
Right. So we have deer, we even have cows and sheep in some area, right? And now it's less likely on some of the highways, but I know the bench road between Newcastle and Enterprise right now has its open range, and that's their winter range. So being cautious driving through this storm through the bench road specifically. In Parowan to Parowan Gap, it's open range. And there's sheep right there, for the winter range. From the Gap Road to Three Peaks, yes, there is a road. Don't ask me why I know it. My husband and I travel on it frequently. But there's open range through the entire bench, that other area. I'm going to just call it the North 40. I don't know what it's really called. But you come into all of the livestock, let alone the wildlife that's out there, right? And we're coming into calving season. Lambing season's just around the corner. You guys, in winter storms, my advice is slow is best and avoid at all costs.
But you do have to keep enough speed to keep your traction.
Right. No, agreed.
Yeah.
And then let's really quickly, if you have a rear-wheel drive vehicle, adding a little bit of weight.
Get rid of it.
Right. But adding a little bit of weight, going to Home Depot and buying a couple bags of sand will help you. It is proven, I appreciate you guys listening today, me rant and rave about the different winter weather conditions out that we are experiencing here in Cedar City today. Thank you for joining us for Wired Wednesday. I am your local Farm Bureau financial agent. My name is McKennan Hansen. My number is 435-592-2021. And I want to help you with any insurance or real estate needs that you may have.
Or apparently driving lessons.
Well, I'm not a good driver myself, but I do know to slow down and to go and make it through these different things, because being born and raised in southern Utah, you get all types of weather in sometimes a 24-hour period. I'm McKennan Hansen, your local Farm Bureau financial agent, 435-592-2021.